Barry Costa. I'm an expert. You can actually ask my industry, other experts, that I'm an expert in the water damage restoration industry. And right now I've got a demonstration to show you about hardwood floor drying. I'm now convinced that the way we've been drying hardwood floors hasn't really been the very best way. It doesn't mean we've messed up. We're learning always. And the moment we think we know it all in even medicine, gosh, in the Civil War days, doctors did a lot of amputations of body parts because they found out when they did, soldiers lived. Then all of a sudden they started dying again because we then had to learn about germs, okay? So, like every industry, this industry is always growing. So let's talk about wood floors, first of all. Typically, folks, air flows better in a wood floor in the left for a variety of reasons. One, the tongue and groove. Two, if there are flutes in the back, it flows this way. And three, depending upon how the wood was sawn, wood cells tend to travel in the length direction, and they're parallel with each other. So air flows very well this way, but it does not flow well this way, okay? So, when you got a wood floor that gets wet, and the water's been applied on top, and it's sealed, the water doesn't go through the sealer. It'll enter the tongue and groove, it'll enter the side of the wood where it's not sealed. When it hits the floor, it moves in the letter T, and it absorbs from the bottom. So the sides and the bottom of a wood floor are always wetter than the top and the core. So every wood floor is always under a level of stress when there's water damage. So here's the mistake we've made. First of all, we've always been taught to do this, and this is not a mistake. You're taught to set up your vacuum panels of the injector dry system or the rescue mats of the dry ease system, the dry force, 3 to 4 feet apart in the length. Now in the width, you don't want the panels any further than 1 board away because again, air flows good, doesn't flow well. You hook up your panels to your truck mount, not to the injector dry, because water is not meant to be brought through the injector dry machine. So with all these panels hooked together, going out to your truck mount, if you want to think about it, it's kind of like a super hickey machine. If I suck on these panels, I'm creating low pressure. And to have airflow, you have to have 2 openings. So that's why the panels aren't edge to edge. Air is being pulled in where there's no panels to the panels, and any water underneath is coming out, going to your truck mount. So once you're sure you got all the water out that might be under the wood floor, now we're going to set this up. Now in the past, we've always been taught to do this. Your panels are 3 to 4 feet apart. You set all your panels up to your injector dry, and you suck the vapor into your injector dry, and the moisture coming from the wood floor is supposed to be evacuated outside. Well, let me plug this heater in right now because I got to get into part of my experiment started here. And let's see if I hold this right. Yep, take my hand off that hot stove area. Okay, so let me start heating up some water that's in this can. Okay. Now, what we've done is wrong, and here's why. I'm going to do an experiment with these cards. Now this is made of wood, right? It's paper, it's made of wood. I want you to notice which way this card bends when the bottom of the wood is wetter than the top of the wood. Let me put some moisture on that table. Now everybody watch this card. Ready? Here we go. Rise, Swami. Rise, rise. Okay. You'll always get cupping when the bottom of the wood is wetter than the top. Now watch what happens when the top is wetter than the bottom. You always get crowded. So let's say we're all on a water job. Now I'm going to test you guys, so you'll be a videotape. Good luck. We're on a job, and you take psychrometric readings outdoors and indoors. The grains outside are a lot lower than indoors, and it's a nice warm day. What kind of drying system can you be using right now?
Okay.
Listen to these people. Excellent. Now when you walked into this room, it was a cup floor. You walked into this one, it was crown. In the cup floor, what part of the wood's the wettest?
Bottom.
See, it's talking to you. It's a crown, what's wettest? Now, I'm not worried about a crown floor. It's going to self-correct itself. I'm just going to move on over here. It's called gravity. But everybody gets your videotapes very, very carefully looking at this card. Here's the mistake I thought I made. But watch what happens when you evenly wet out the wood floor. Check this out. What's it doing? Going back to its natural shape, the way the kiln drying put it. The kiln drying process said, stay flat. Well, look at this one. It's going down by itself. Why? Gravity is pulling that moisture through the card to the bottom, evenly wetting things out. So here's the mistake we've made in drying wood floors for many years. We didn't mean to make it. We just didn't know. Guys, again, we've been taught to extract the water out, right?
Yep.
Now, we know that the core and the bottom and the sides are wetter than the top, okay? I mean, excuse me, the bottom and sides wetter than the top and the core. So if we put our vacuum panels on the top and we use super dry heated air on the top, we're over drying the top. We're putting the wood under even greater stress, and we could be the ones putting in cracks, stress cracks, honeycombing, case hardening. There's lots of damage we can do to wood if we're too aggressive too early. But typically we're that way because we feel under stress that we gotta hurry up. 3 days. Guys, class 4 standard says prolonged drying time may be required and special drying methods may be required. It's right in the definition that we put in the standards writers. So here's what I'm gonna tell you to do, because here's the mistake I thought I made. When I set this up the way I was always taught, 3-4 feet apart, you pull it into the machine, the moisture goes outside. Well, in Lounsbury Lane, Peterborough, New Hampshire, I left my hose in the makeup area. When I walked into that job the next day and saw that, I went, oh man, the only part of the wood floor that wasn't cupped was where this hose was. I went, what? I probably did more breeding of kiln drying than any person on the face of the earth. I now know what we've been doing is wrong. Guys, we have a 99% success rate in something I'm teaching this class right now. So again, if you're an adjuster watching this videotape, I want you to see, oh, look at that, it's almost corrected. Good job, crown floor. And very rarely do you see a crown floor. If you see crown floor, usually somebody sanded a cup floor before it was dry, and when it did dry, it went convex on you, okay? But I want you to see what we're going to do instead. Now, let's go back to the card demonstration, because I don't want you to think that if I've got a cup floor, I go in with a fire hose and go, because I'm going to be repeating the same mistake. So, that vapor that's being pulled out of the wood floor in the injector dry, here's my exhaust hose. Remember we were told to blow it outside? We're going to recirculate vapor from the wood floor, give it energy, and bring it back to the wood floor, because the first thing we have to do in drying a wood floor is get it out of stress. Once we get the floor out of stress, we can then dry it very evenly and correct the cupping. We have a 99% success rate on this. The latest was a $45,000 cherry inlaid floor in Colorado. Mark Whitridge, Aspen Gold, was the restorer, if you want to know his name, okay? But you're going to have the name of a lot of people here. Now, every time I do this, I burn my finger. I have no clue why, okay? I'm waiting for that vapor to come through this hose. Sure glad I started that as early as I did, okay? We're almost there. Because I want you to watch that card. Last time I spritzed water at it. No, this time I'm just putting vapor to it. That's all it takes is vapor. On day 1, and maybe even day 2. But once we correct the cupping, oh, there it is. Watch the card. What do you think? Okay? So, if you're an adjuster watching this video and you have any questions whatsoever, again, my name is Barry Costa. My phone number is 603-547-5006. Look, we're all in this together. Everybody in a rowboat. But if we're in the same rowboat, we got to row the same way. Because if we don't, you go in circles and nobody wins. But I think with education and understanding, we can all achieve our end results of reduce the loss ratio, do the work right for our client, because we share that person. They have a policy you're representing, and we have a contract to run their building. And we work and do our jobs very well together. They are under less stress. You get a great review, close the file quickly, customer satisfaction, and we're all in it together. So again, by the way, if you're watching this video, you probably have a hardwood floor in front of you cupped. And I told the restorer that you're working with, if they'd like some help, to call me. Now, I'm not going to take liability over what's going on. I'm not there doing it. But I at least can be a sounding board and hopefully give some interjections of some things to be thinking about and doing. And it's always fun to have the first person do their cup floor and correct it and be part of it. So again, good luck everybody. Stay safe. Was that okay?